Hey, this is Chad Elijah at LotusComics.com, and we're here with Zach Galigan, well known with Gremlins and Waxworks. How you doing today, sir?
Hanging in there, doing good.
Very awesome. I'm a huge fan of Waxworks, and I'm a huge fan of Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
And we all wanted to know, like, if there's going to be a sequel to Gremlins Part 2.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about it, and Warner Brothers and Joe Dante and some of the original people who made the movie are pretty far apart in terms of money and in terms of, by money I mean budget, in terms of stuff like whether they're going to use CGI versus animatronics and stuff like that. Some issues about stories and whether or not they're going to reboot it, or whether they're just going to try and do an actual Part 3. So I think once they kind of figure out what's going on, then I think they have a good chance of maybe doing a third one, especially since the 3D craze is kind of kicking in now.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. How was it like working with, say, Corey Feldman in Part 1?
Well, you got to remember, in Part 1, Corey Feldman was an unknown actor, and he was 11. So, basically, it was like working with a kid.
That's
and
true.
He was just like kind of a nice, cute, fun kid. And they had, because I was only 19 at the time, and Corey was 11, so you basically have a bunch of kids in this movie. Spielberg set up these video games, like arcade games, for us to play in between takes because they knew we'd be bored and be running all around the lot and everything like that.
Right.
So basically I spent all of Gremlins 1 kicking Corey Feldman's butt at a video game called Food Fight.
That's awesome.
It's the old 80s.
Yeah, I totally remember that game too.
Fight?
Yeah.
Food Fight and Millipede. And I was on the Millipede machine so much that at the end of the thing, actually, Spielberg shipped the Millipede machine to my house.
It's awesome.
He's like, here, you use it so much, you should have it. So he just shipped the game to my house, which was pretty amazingly generous.
But as far as Waxworks, was there anything that went into making the film that you saw that could have been done different?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
As far as the expectations of the film, did you have any certain expectations doing Gremlins or Waxworks, either one of those two, that maybe didn't meet your expectations?
No, I was pretty pleased with the way both of them came out. I think Gremlins came out very well. The tone was a lot different than I thought. I thought we were making sort of more of an action movie, and then when I saw it, I remember when Joe Dante brought Phoebe Cates and myself to the Warner Brothers screening room to take like the very first look at it, at the very first cut, and we were both kind of shocked about how kind of cartoony the quality of the movie was, which we shouldn't have, considering that Joe Dante loves cartoons and has a huge collection of them. But I guess I thought I was making more of sort of like a James Cameron type action movie as opposed to kind of like more of a kind of... Well, the tone, I think, is very similar to Joe Dante's episode of Twilight Zone, the movie.
Right.
And as far as Waxwork goes, I didn't have any expectations. I knew it was going to be pretty nuts because the director, Johnny Hickox, is pretty nuts. So I thought it was going to be fun and violent, and that's what it was.
Yeah. We'd like to ask you about any future endeavors that you're making as far as films. And if so, what would they be?
Well, there's two things you can look for. One is a horror movie I already did, actually, in England, which I'm not even sure you can get it in America, but you can get it on Amazon.com UK, which is the British website version of Amazon.com. It's called, it's a movie called Cut, and what's interesting about it is it's like a horror film, like slasher film, and it's all shot completely in one take. So it's all one 66-minute Steadicam take, which is
awesome.
Which is pretty amazing. And then I should be shooting, if all goes well, a zombie movie in Bulgaria called Invasion of the Not Quite Dead. So hopefully the financing, it's going to make indie film history because it's going to be hopefully one of the first horror movies that's ever been financed completely by internet fans.
Right.
You can buy packages for £20 or about $30 or something like that, and people are buying packages so they get their names and the credit and everything like that, and hopefully they'll actually manage to raise a budget we can shoot a movie on.
Well, thank you for meeting with us today.
No problem.
I really appreciate it, Mr. Galigan.
No problem.
Absolutely a pleasure meeting.
Thanks, buddy.
And this is Lotus Comics. You've seen it here first, and that's a wrap. Thank you very much, guys.